music fans out there. This is Leigh with Coda Country. And today, hailing from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, I have Will Jones with me on the show. How are you today, Will?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing so great. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
For the listeners out there, I did a really bad job of reminding Will that we had a meeting, interview today. So I'm just so thankful that you're able to hop on and kind of get the ball rolling with me.
Absolutely.
I have lots of questions for you.
I love it.
So one of the first things I want to talk to you about is your new single that just released a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
It's called Whiskeysippi for any of the listeners out there who want to check it out. Tell me, what inspired you to write that song?
Yeah, so I wrote that song with two of my dearest friends in town, Davis Corley and a guy named Leigh Starr, who's had a lot of success and a #1 with a song called My Boy, and he's just talented. And Davis is one of my best friends that hits the road with me and is a brilliant writer. We wrote that song, and it was just whenever us three get together, we end up kind of going down some weird unknown path with a song that we never really know where it's going to go. And that title got thrown out. And yeah, we decided that Whiskeysippi had to be this, scary, dark, Delta river pirate filled, place that you get stuck when your heart's been broken and all that. So we ended up just kind of writing it into this like fantasy world of all that color, and trying to put the music and the vibes to match it, which make it super swampy and hard hitting and fun. So that's kind of how that happened.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And now Davis and Leigh are both writers on your debut single, Sedona. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, they both.
Which is completely different.
It is.
I love both of these songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did y'all? I love to know like the timeline of writes. Did these kind of come organically, naturally? Like, did they happen around the same time?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. So I had just signed a publishing deal with Universal in town and got set up on a write with which I knew Davis and hadn't written with Leigh yet. And we got set up on a write together, and we wrote our first song, and it was really cool, and we loved the energy. And so the second song that we ever wrote together was Sedona. And it was another, just a magical thing, where we were like, I think Leigh had the idea of Sedona, and we were like, I don't know what that is, but I love the idea of a song. It's a beautiful name. And so we ended up just making a cowboy love song. And it was really cool. So that was like one of the first songs I submitted when I signed my publishing deal, and ended up being the first song that I put out. And I just love that song. I love everything about it, but it is very different.
Well,
Yeah. I think we,
but I love that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And I think we allow ourselves, especially us three, to kind of, when we get in a room, we just kind of allow ourselves to go down whatever path that feels good that day. We don't put any limitations on ourselves. We don't try to write something specific. We just give ourselves complete freedom. So you definitely hear a big sonic difference there, but it all kind of comes back to different aspects of my foundations in music. It's because I'm a big bluegrass guy. I was raised on bluegrass stuff. Of course I was raised on a lot of the 80s and 90s stuff, Keith Whitley on and still do a lot of that stuff. So you hear that in songs like Sedona. But I was also a huge, Jerry Reed fan and fans of a bunch of swampy, funky country stuff too. And so you start seeing these pieces of who I am and the fabric of who I am as an artist, coming through, even though they're different. But I'm kind of a diverse guy when it comes to, what I love, sonically. So, but
of course.
Yeah.
Well, so that makes me interested to know, are there any single drops coming in the near future? I know that you just dropped one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I'm always, on the up and up, want to know what's happening
so,
next.
So I'll let you know. We're actually getting ready to open the floodgates, and I can't wait. We've got so much stuff that I can't wait for everyone to hear. So yes, there is going to be another release in the very near future, and it'll just a hint. It'll probably coincide with a bunch of shows we're doing out in Las Vegas for the National Finals Rodeo in the 1st of December. So it's going to be really fun, and and the song that I'm releasing is probably my favorite song I've written since I've been in Nashville.
Wow! Oh my god!
So it's going to be really fun, and then we're going back in the studio in January and cutting a bunch more stuff. So it's just next year we are going to be giving the goods, man. Because I'm in the mood. We got so many cool shows, so I'm just really excited to start releasing a bunch more music, and it's a different day and time now. You know, I feel like keeping up with, there's so many people that'll release 30 songs at a time. And that's, it's really hard. And you don't really know what the balance is of, is 30 songs too many, or songs in the middle of 30 songs getting missed by certain people. And you put so much time and effort into writing these songs that you don't want them to go to waste. So, next year is going to be, after we'll have another release before the end of the year. And then going into next year is going to be a pretty healthy balance of throwing out quite a bit of music for everybody. So I can't wait.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And you were just talking about some of the shows that you have coming up, with one of them timed with the National Finals Rodeo in Vegas.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more about where you're going to be. I know that some of the listeners would love to come and check you out at a show.
For sure. We got a bunch of cool stuff coming up. We're going to be, like I said, out in Vegas for the first week, the 7th through the 11th. We'll be doing about 4 shows out there at the National Finals Rodeo. I think we'll be doing 3 nights at Thomas and Mack and at the Cowboy Corral stage, which is a really awesome setup in Thomas and Mack there. And then the last night in Vegas on the 10th, I think before we fly out, we're doing a show at the Palms, which is going to it's going to be killer. We'll be doing that with Cowboy Revival and Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. And so we got that coming up. We're doing a run of shows with Ashley McBryde the next week after that, which is going to be super fun because I'm the biggest Ashley fan there is, and she's so cool to us. And we'll be up in Charleston, West Virginia, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Baltimore, Maryland for those. I think the weekend of the 14th, 15th, 16th. And then I disappear. Yeah, it's quite a bit. And we got a bunch more before that. I'm going to be down at the Gulf next week for Frank Brown Songwriter Festival. Yeah. And we're going to be hosting a big after party jam on the main outdoor stage for that next weekend. Awesome. And then I got something I think maybe in the Smokies. I think we're doing like a show out there the first week in December. So we got a bunch of stuff. And then next year we've already got dates. We're doing a bunch of dates with John Party, which is going to be super exciting.
Awesome.
So we're going to be we're going to be running to the Pacific Northwest with him in Washington and Oregon, British Columbia, and then we're hitting Montana. And we got a bunch of good stuff coming down the line for next year. Festivals, Idaho, we got a bunch of cool stuff. So we're gonna be covering some ground for sure.
That's incredible. Yeah. I just keep listening to you list off locations, and I'm like, you're gonna be all over the place. But that's awesome. Yeah. Do you have like a favorite venue or a favorite location that you've played since you've started touring around?
It's hard to choose because I love them all so much, and depending on the night, depending on the crowd and how everyone's feeling, any one of them can kind of become your new favorite. But we were just in Chattanooga doing some shows last weekend, and that we were down at Barrel House Ballroom, and that place is awesome. I do love going back around home, being from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. I love getting back to North Carolina. I was raised about a mile from the state line, so a lot of my time was spent in North Carolina playing shows. South Carolina, looking to get down to Charleston, and all out through Georgia. I know we're going to be doing a run of club shows too, so we'll be hitting like Saddlebags in Savannah, and we'll be hitting be down in Augusta. We're going to be setting up a bunch of stuff down through there too. But man, I love them all. I love it so much that I can't choose one. I don't think.
Awesome.
Unless I played the Opry, and then that would probably be the.
And then that would be good. Yeah. It's probably coming. Who knows for sure.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about your publishing deal with UMG.
Sure.
So I got your name, and I told you this from Malachi and Logan of the band Lula.
Love them.
Is this a group that you guys like got in touch with through the publishing group, or did you guys just kind of organically meet? Like, how did that friendship start?
Yeah, so I met them. I've been with Universal Music Publishing for a couple of years now, and my publisher Ron Stuvey. I was in there. We were having a meeting one day, and he was like, "Man, I'm going down to Atlanta to check out this band. They sound awesome. You know, their harmonies are incredible. They can sing so good." And he's like, "I'm going down there tomorrow night or whatever it was." He's like, "I'm going to ride down and check them out." I was like, "Heck yeah, dude!" So it was the band Lula, and so that's how I met them. I met them through UMPG and Ron, and they came out. I think one night I do a residency show for anybody listening if you're in Nashville. And hopefully I'll be able to continue doing this for quite a while. But on Monday nights in Nashville, every Monday night, we do a residency show at the Local. It's a venue called The Local on the west side of town. And it's kind of our hometown bar, so to speak, here in Nashville. And Jeff Reed's a great guy, the owner. But it's we don't even really advertise it. It's really just an off night for us to hang out, drink a little tequila. And it's you know, we're out on the road all the time, so we don't get a chance to just like honky tonk and like just hold it in the wind and play whatever Haggard, Whitley, Waylon, or anything. We play whatever comes to mind. If people might yell something crazy B-side, you know, country song from the 70s, if we know it, like we cut into it. That's what Mondays are for. But the band Lula came out one night, and I got them up, and they blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, they're so good. So we just did Whiskey Jam together and a bunch of stuff. But I really love what they do so much.
Yes, no, and I love that friendship is kind of like started to blossom just because you're involved with the same group and everything. I mean, and it's cool to hear about the community. Yeah.
Yeah, and Universal, man, what's so cool about Universal Publishing is like it's to be a major. It feels not like a major. I mean, it's a really family environment. Like everybody there's so supportive of each other. Everyone's so helpful. And talking about Band Lula, one of the biggest things that really resonated with me with them was I've got a huge passion and love for Muscle Shoals. And I've spent some time down there at Fame Studios and writing and cutting some live demos and stuff. And I just really appreciate and a lot of what I do is pretty swampy and groovy and kind of shoalsy, you know. And so their stuff really strikes me right there where I like it, man. It's good.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I completely agree with you, though. The first time I ever saw them was at a Whiskey Jam. It was like, I think their first one that they ever did.
Yeah.
And when I saw y'all's names together on that last docket for Whiskey Jam, I was like, I want to go. Oh, my gosh. I'm sad that I missed that.
Yeah, it was a good night.
But how was the atmosphere now that it's moved?
You know what?
Whiskey Road.
I think anybody would follow Ward to California if he went. You know, I mean, I love that dude. He's such a hard worker, and he supports artists so well in the right way. And he's such a pro. And the new location downtown, I'll be honest with you, is great. It's really good. The parking's not a problem. They treat you super good. You go right in the back door, and it's honestly a little more room. They got TVs and live streamed, visual for everybody. So you can see really good. The audio's great, you know, sounds great. I loved it. I thought it was really, really cool, you know, and it's giving everybody that's downtown kind of a opportunity to be like, hey, I heard of this, you know, whatever place, like they can find it a lot easier, you know, so.
That's so true, yeah.
So it's pretty cool. You're seeing people come in there and being like, whoa, like I'm getting a real insight into Nashville. And it's true. I mean, it's touring artists and people who are really grinding every day and doing it, you know, that are in there. So it's cool. I love it.
Exactly. Like seeing the growth of Whiskey Jam just in general for the past, 11, 12 years now, like it's wild to see. So
yeah, they've worked their tail off.
Ward is doing some amazing work.
He is.
For so many awesome artists like you guys, and that's awesome.
Yeah, now everything that he's doing with Apple too is incredible. Yeah,
I know, and he doesn't also he's definitely an inspiration for me because he's got some killer podcast stuff going on and everything with Apple Music. I mean, that's big for country music.
It is
so big.
It is.
Yeah. So okay, tell me. I know that you have your guitar with with you right now.
Oh yeah,
Is there?
I'm sitting in my studio.
And I should have asked you this. No, I love it. I meant to ask you this whenever I was asking you about Whiskeysippi. Is there like a specific lyric or a specific riff in the song that you like really, really love, that makes you really love it?
With Whiskeysippi?
Or anything in general.
Yeah.
The donut.
I love when it comes to like.
Ooh, yeah, drop D. Here we go.
I love anything like, with Whiskeysippi. I got a song called Country No More. And I got a few that's just really swampy. Any of that just kind of puts me in a cool spot.
Yeah.
But we were cutting that track, and I think it was and Rob McNally, who's a brilliant guitar player here in town, was on session, and I was in there with him recording, going down on acoustic, and he was playing that like.
Ooh.
And it was like, okay, that's it. Like
that's tasty. Oh my gosh.
I just like it. It's mean, man.
Yeah.
Any of that drop D swampy stuff, it's fun for me. Yeah.
Fun fact, not that I can like toot my own horn or anything, I'm a high school guitar teacher.
Really?
So yes, that's my day job. Okay. So I'm cool. A little bit of a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What kind of guitar are you playing right now?
This is about a $100 gut string Yamaha that I don't even know. I actually bought this guitar out of the trunk of a old guy's car. At a car lot. It's true. Yeah, he's like, I got this guitar. You might like it. And I was like, I'll look at it. And I gave him like $100 for it, I think. And awesome. It's like my writing guitar. But I got most of the time I play a 64 D28 Martin.
Wow.
I got a Sunburst Topper D18 that I love. I got a Hummingbird that a really good dear friend of mine, a guy named Monty Holmes, gifted me, who was kind of the guy that took me under his wing when I moved to town and made me write songs and started getting me writing songs the right way. He wrote songs like Troubadour for George Strait, and Never Again Again.
Oh my gosh.
So I have that. I got custom built acoustic. I got all kinds of guitars that I love, but my ride or die would be that old D28 Martin, and a Telecaster. Between those two, I can pretty much do it all. So.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Well, audience out there, thanks so much for tuning in. This was Will Jones, and I'm Leigh with Coda Country. Thanks so much. Have a good day.